Satnam. Hi Astro friends and family. My name is Karine. I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher and also astrologer, and I work on Lada's channel. And today we are going to talk about career and money for 12 signs in 2023. And remember, this is a general reading, so everyone has a different chart. So if you want a specific one for yourself, you can check the link below and you can find the information how to book reading with me. So before we start, just a quick introduction how I read the chart and also how you can use this reading. So I use tropical zodiac and the whole sign house system, and I apply Vedic astrology techniques in all my readings. So please don't use any unequal house system for this reading. Traditionally, people use sidereal zodiac and in Vedic astrology. But Ernst Wilhelm, the teacher that I learned from, if you're interested in astrology, you must have heard of this person. And he stopped using sidereal zodiac for Vedic astrology. I think it's in 2005, because he tests tropical and sidereal for all the Vedic techniques. And tropical trumps every time. So that's why he stopped using sidereal for Vedic astrology, I think at least 10 years ago. So this is where and how I learned from him, and this is also how I'm going to do my readings. And usually I use planetary dristis, like each planet, they have a specific eyesight, and when they shoot the eyesight to different places, that also sends the influence to the houses. But because the topic today is about career and money, so I will only mention the aspect, the dristi that is related to this topic. So not every aspect will be mentioned. So Jupiter will be in Aries from 21st of December and will stay in this sign until 16th of May in 2023. So that means right now, Jupiter is very soon to entering into Aries and will stay there for at least 5 months. And then Jupiter will enter Taurus from 17th of May, and then we will stay there for a year. So until 25th of May 2024. And Saturn will enter in Pisces on 7th of March and will stay there until 13th of February 2026. So almost 3 years time. But in between, Saturn will enter into Aries for a brief time and then will go back to Pisces. So approximately 3 years time. And so this reading is good if you look at from your rising sign as well as your moon sign. In Vedic astrology, apart from the birth chart, they also have this moon chart. So it means that we read everything from the moon's perspective, moon's placements. So your moon signs become your ascendant, your first house. And so you can look at the transits from the moon, and it's called Gochara in Vedic astrology. That's the specific term for that. And you can also, if you like, you can also turn your charts, like your birth chart, and read from your moon placements. Particularly if you're over 50 years old, it's good to look at from your moon chart, because all the planets will be mature during that time. For example, Rahu matures at the age of 42 and Ketu matures at the age of 48. So all the planets and the 2 points, they will be mature. And if you read from your moon, you will also feel more consciously and emotionally connected to the prediction, because moon rules our consciousness and emotions. And this reading, it's not so much about looking at from your sun sign, but if you like listen from your sun sign, you can do that as well. Now, there are several rising signs for next year. They are quite important. They are having a big year next year in 2023. So like Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Pisces, and Leo. They all have planets go through their first house, particularly Aries and Taurus. These two signs, they have planets go through their 12th house as well as their first house. So they're having the beginning and also the ending happening at the same time. So this is like big year. Why first house is very important is because when planets transit in the first house, it's the most important transit in life. The first house rules you, your path in life, your identity, who you are. The planets that are transiting through the first house are going to have a profound impact on your growth. And the planets that move through the first house is going to make you who you are, make you become who you're meant to be, and also lay out the path for you. And because the ascendant is always about learning to becoming the best version of you along the path. So when planets move through the first house, each planet will do what it needs to do to help you to become better in your life. For example, different planets, they have different mission. Particularly when planets move through your first house and go retrograde, becomes extremely important. That's why Jupiter and Saturn, when they transit your first house, is always important, because these two planets, they always they go retrograde when they transit in one sign. Venus, Mercury, and Mars, they are fast-moving planets, but when they transit your first house and go retrograde, they become extremely important. Sagittarius. Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius moon. So Saturn will travel through your fourth house from March next year, 2023, and it will stay there until February 2026, so almost 3 years' time. And Jupiter will move through your fifth house from December 2022 and will stay there until mid-May in 2023. And from mid-May 2023, it will enter into your sixth house and will stay there for a year. So Saturn transit in the fourth house brings challenges, extra work, and extra responsibilities in the fourth house matters. And you might need to take on more responsibilities in your domestic environments. For example, there might be some things needs to fix, or constructional issues in your home, like fixing the foundation of the home, fixing the roof, toilets, changing the boiler, getting rid of some furniture. And you might even need to do some renovation, reconstruction under this transit. And Saturn brings some structure, order, and maturity when it comes to the fourth house matters. So when it transit through the house of fourth house, so the circumstances might make you more organized in your home, in your domestic environments, or with your family. For example, perhaps there might be too many people living in the same space, or you might have a lot of cats or dogs, and you need to sort out like who does what in the house and bring in more structure and organization around the domestic environments. Or if you are working from home, there might be more organizing and restructure to do, or more responsibilities. And after the transits, you will definitely come out more organized. Saturn transit in the fourth house can also bring delays in real estate issues, or issues with properties, lands, gardens, or signing the contracts, buying a house. And there might be more problems. For example, like the landlord in the UK, there might be some certain criteria and also the courses that you need to take. And some equipment needs to be some equipment needs to be upgraded or replaced in order to be an eligible landlord. And UK government, they only upgraded this rule recently. So there might be some kind of trouble in regards to the fourth house matters, or hassle that you have to go through. And fourth house also rules the family. It rules the mother in Vedic astrology. So when Saturn transit in the fourth house, you might need to take on more responsibilities for the family or the mother. Perhaps your parents are dealing with some kind of difficulties and you need to help and solve problems for them. Or you just need to pay more attention to them. And mother might get sick, so pay attention to your mother's condition, health. Or the mother might become more like demanding your attention, your focus. Or it could be that your maternal figure becomes more demanding and becomes a source of stress. Not in a bad way, but it demands like more of your efforts, responsibilities. So pay attention to that. And Saturn transit in the fourth house would definitely create some pressure in your home and disturb your emotional well-being, because fourth house rules our emotional well-being, our private world, how safe you feel in this incarnation. So when you have a lot going on in your home, in your domestic environments, or with your family, it can be very tough. So you also need to take care of yourself. Saturn transit in the fourth house is looking at 10th house. So there will be more workload, responsibilities in your career path. So increased responsibilities in your career as well as your domestic environment. So that means your outside world, your professional field, and also in your home. There are two, it can be a little bit too much for you. And how do you find the balance between these two, your home life, your work life? And how do you find balance between your responsibilities and emotional well-being is the key under this transit. So take care of your emotional health, your mental health, and physical health as well. And not to mention Saturn transit in the 4th house is also sending the influence to the 6th house and 1st house. 6th house rules health, habits, routines, and lifestyle. And 1st house rules the body. So they are very like health related. So again, like I said, pay attention to your health, physical health, emotional health. And Jupiter will move through your 5th house from 21st of December and will stay here until mid-May in 2023. So 5 months time. And in Vedic astrology, each house has their significant house. So Jupiter's key house is in the 7th house. So this is the house of co-creating something with someone, creating your dynasty, legacy, something you can leave behind for a long time. Usually it's children, but it can also be other things too. So when Jupiter transit in the 7th house, it's like the beginning of Jupiter's cycle. And when Jupiter travels through all the houses, when it reaches 5th house, which is 11 from the 7th, usually it's the 5th house. It brings reward towards your creation. Something you've been creating or something that you want to create for a long time. It brings a reward to that. Why 11th house? Why 11 from the key house? Because the 11th house is associated with achievements. It's a house of increase. So that's why the planets transit 11 from the key house. Usually it brings reward. And when Jupiter transit in the 5th house, the reward can be manifested in many ways. One of the possibilities is that you can meet someone during this transit. Usually it can be your husband for women, like in woman's charts, because Jupiter signifies husband in woman's charts in Vedic astrology. So you can meet someone during this time. And chances are, if you do meet someone during this time, this person becomes very significant in your life because they are going to be part of the legacy. They are going to be part of the empire that you want to create and leave behind. Oftentimes you can create baby together. And it can also be like two people coming together as a power couple, creating something long lasting. So for example, my sister, she's Sagittarius rising. Her work is to do with humanistic work, social movements. And her favorite and long-term goal is to promote ocean education. So when Jupiter transit her 5th house earlier in 2022, this year, she was invited to work on the projects that's to do with the teenagers' education. And it's very interesting because 5th house is also to do with education. So she blended in her ocean education into the curriculum. She organized like a summer camp and also brought the students to the island, introduced marine life, fishing industry, and also environmental issues. And the project went really, really well, very successful. It brought so much meaning and purpose. So the CEO of the foundation decided to keep this project as a long-term project. They would do it every year. So this is how the reward manifests for my sister. And when she had Jupiter transit in her 5th house, she met this powerful partner, CEO of the foundation, and she was offered this amazing opportunity to promote the topic that she's passionate about and then she's working on for a long time. And she's able to turn it into a long-term project. So yeah, for Sagittarius, this is a very crucial time for you to enjoy your reward. And this reward position only happens once every 12 years. So Sagittarius, make sure that you make the best of it in the 5 months time. And other things about Jupiter transiting the 5th house is that 5th house rules our creative expression, creative intelligence. So you'll feel free and confident in expressing yourself, expressing your creativity. You become more creative with your work, creative with your solutions, creations, and everything. Because everything we do in life, it requires creativity, even with your writing, even with your presentation, even with your think if you can think outside of the box to come up with some solutions. Cooking is also creativity. So yeah, you'll feel more confident and feel free to create stuff. And fifth house also rules speculative business. So if you work for yourself or if you have your own business, Jupiter will bring more opportunities and growth, expansion to your business. And fifth house rules fun and pleasure in life. So overall, you enjoy life more, and there will be more social gatherings like events or parties to go to. Jupiter's transit in the fifth house is also looking at the opposite house, 11th house. So again, you will enjoy good times with your friends, large gatherings, community life, and your friends and benefactors, or even your older siblings will bring some support to expand your network or to help you on this journey. And 11th house also rules long-term dreams and goals. You can receive some recognition for your work because it's a second from the 10th. So like promotions, titles, or pay rise. And you can also achieve a lot during this transit because, like I said, 11th house is to do with long-term dreams and goals. And 11th house is associated with achievement. Then afterwards, Jupiter will travel through your 6th house from 2003, mid-May 2003, and will stay there for 1 year until 2024. 6th house rules work. During this transit, you might start to do something expensive, do something big with your job, which is good. But at the same time, it can also increase more work duties, responsibilities, and potentially high level of stress and competition, because 6th house rules competition. And as I mentioned earlier, Saturn transit in the 4th house is also shooting the influence to the 10th house. So there will be increased workload and responsibilities. So you have double indications for more workload and responsibilities for Sagittarius. 6th house is Mercury's house. So it's a house of details, analysis. There might be more work that requires attention to details, making sure that everything runs smoothly, lots of organizing, checking, planning. So there might be a lot of hustle when it comes to those details. But overall, 6th house rules more like difficult things like disagreements, arguments, conflicts, accusation, imbalanced situations, and competition. And Jupiter usually gives many. So you can have many of those things. You can expect quite a lot going on, different factors coming up suddenly and needs resolving. And so it feels like there's endless problems to solve, endless conflicts, and you might even get sick because of the level of stress. And Jupiter transits Taurus is actually not strong. So Jupiter is not strong in the sign of Taurus because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is an enemy to Jupiter. And at the same time, Jupiter transits 6th house. This is the house of Mercury's. And Mercury is also another enemy to Jupiter. So Jupiter is not doing well in this situation. And at the same time, Saturn transits the 4th house is shooting the influence to the 6th house. So Saturn can bring some obstacles when it comes to 6th house matters, even though you have Jupiter in that house, but you will still feel some luck and blessings in those houses. But Saturn will definitely bring, it will slow down the process of resolution, especially the things that I mentioned just now, like disagreements, arguments, or conflicts, or any imbalanced situation. You can expect some delayed in the process of resolution. So the things that trouble you will keep you on your toes during the whole time. And it can be quite difficult for you to find time to relax. So pay attention to your health. The high level of stress can make you vulnerable to illness. So watch out your stress level, watch out your eating, because Jupiter transit in 6th house. 6th house is to do with the gut, digestive system. And Jupiter is also, when Jupiter transit in the 6th house, is also looking at the 2nd house. So 2nd house rules the food that we put into our mouth. So watch out overeating, comfort eating, stress eating. Pay attention to your eating habits or any habits that can damage your health or making some trouble for your health. Okay, so that was a brief review about your career and money in the upcoming year. I wish you a year of abundance, support, love, wisdom, and guidance. And if you need a personal reading, you can find the information in the link below. Thank you.